So, garter stitch doesn't get any easier, right? We're going to knit every stitch of every row. But to mix it up, every other row, we're going to change colors and create stripes. It creates a very pretty effect. So as you can see, in the garter stitch ridges, now that we're changing color every other row, you're going to get stripes. Pretty easy, right? So when you're going to knit this, let's take the new color up forward and knit it so that it crosses in front of the previous color. Now what this does is create a nice braid along the side that's very decorative. So I'm going to show you. See on this side how we have this nice little braid, and that's what's going to happen when you're always taking that new yarn up in front over the top. Now if you change it up, it won't really matter, but you won't get this nice symmetrical braid, which is very nice. But that's the worst thing that can happen, and if it's in a seam, nobody cares. So it's just an option, but it is something that I suggest. Now on the other edge, you're not going to be carrying up yarn, so we don't get the braid, but it still looks very pretty, okay, because it's a nice self-contained knot on the edge. So garter stitch is not just a very, very easy stitch. It is also incredibly useful. It doesn't curl. It's a great fabric for scarves and for home decoration because you don't have to have a finishing edge on it. It basically is self-finishing. Okay, so now when you come over to the other side, there's no yarn over here. Your previous yarn is over here, so that's your signal that you're just going to knit another row, and you've created a stripe. Now you can see here on the other side that it looks different. It doesn't look the same as the other side. It's not completely reversible, but it is attractive on both sides. So what this does, you have to think of this as an alternative. And sometimes you might want this side to show. Now I have some examples for you of some garter stitch striping. You'll notice that in this swatch, you can see that on this side you have a double piece of color compared to on this side where it's a cleaner stripe. It almost looks like there's one row here and two rows here, if you didn't know any better, okay? So with the yellow and the gray is receding. So the yellow looks more prominent on this side, whereas on this side, maybe not so much. Now, I've got a couple samples here. This is a scarf where I use those same colors, but it's a larger area. You can see that when you get the larger area, sometimes it's not quite as significant as on a small area. It sort of evens out. And on the other side, it looks just like our little swatch did, okay? So here's the right side and the wrong side. Now, in this scarf, which is your sampler scarf, I've got the same exact pattern, but the colors are different, all right? So now, because they're so much different, we don't really have that effect anymore where one color is prominent over the other because they are both so different from each other. Also, this has been washed and blocked, and you can see sometimes with garter stitch it'll spread out a little bit. So it looks a little different than before blocking. Okay, so that's another reason why it's a really good idea to block your swatches before you make something, because maybe it will look different after blocking. Okay? Now, I also have a garment that I've made that uses garter stitch striping. Now this is actually a Hannah Falkenberg pattern, and I made it quite a long time ago, and I'm sorry, but I don't remember which one it is, but one of you will probably know. But Hannah Falkenberg patterns are all in garter stitch, and as you can see, she uses it to great effect. Now what this pattern does is it mixes a solid garter stitch with a striped garter stitch, and they're juxtaposed together. And so what you get is an amazing amount of variety within one garment, and there is nothing in here except for knitting. It's very, very easy. Sometimes she puts this on the inside, but sometimes, as on the front, it's on the outside. So it can be considered a decorative element as it is around this neckline, where she could easily have put this on the outside if she wished. So you are the designer, you are the boss of your knitting, and you can use these effects in lots of different ways. Don't feel that there's one right way.